Good afternoon. This is Jack Martin with InsureMark. I want to thank you all for joining us this afternoon for Digital Marketing Revolution for Financial Professionals. We've got Peter Montoya, who's a highly regarded author and marketing guru in our financial services space, who's going to help us understand what's going on in the digital marketing space today. This is part of our Business Alpha webinar series, and what we're doing is bringing advisors like yourselves thought leadership from a number of our industry leaders, and this is the third in a series of business development type content that we've had. So the replays are available to you. With respect to today's webinar, just a couple of quick housekeeping items. It is being recorded, and you will get a replay link in your box tomorrow. And feel free to complete the survey when you get to the end of the presentation. It's a simple 3-question survey. It really helps us dial in on content for you in the future. So we've got a pretty tight agenda. If you will, make a note and follow us on LinkedIn. That's how you keep track of what's happening with future events. We're going to talk about ADO, or Advisor Development Organization, and what that means. That's a new identity for us here at InsureMark. We're going to talk about the digital marketing revolution, and Peter's going to lead that conversation. And finally, we're going to wrap up with talking about how to drive more alpha. Before we do that, and as we talk about this Advisor Development Organization concept, I think, folks, we would all agree that it's a vortex out there. I mean, change is coming at us at such a pace, with such a breadth, it can almost take your breath away. When you think about the change that's happening with respect to regulation, with respect to product, with respect to technology, demographics, and all the rest, it can sometimes get a little overwhelming. And so at InsureMark, we have, for the last 35 years, responded to changes and evolution in our marketplace to help our advisor clients stay ahead of the game. And our new identity really describes best what we are doing for our advisor clients today. We are the Advisor Development Organization. And Steve Kearns, our founder and CEO, really put it best. He said ADO reflects our DNA. That's really what InsureMark is about. It's about our mindset and the way we serve our advisor clients. Advisors and distributors are all changing in the face of this vortex, but our focus is to stay partnered with our advisor clients to manage that change and enhance their lifestyle and the value of their business. And that last little bit is really critical, to manage the change and enhance your lifestyle and the value of your business. That's what we call Business Alpha, and that's how we measure how effectively we're doing our job. So we've got Peter Montoya with us today, and Peter is one of the industry's most highly sought-after speakers. He's a best-selling officer of the brand called You and the mastermind behind Marketing Pro. So, Peter, tell us a little bit about why we need to understand this digital marketing revolution.
Thank you so much. So glad to be here today. And bottom line today, because advisors are being pulled in so many different directions, is if they don't automate their marketing, it likely doesn't get done. So the solution which we provide, and also we recommend to advisors across the board, is they automate their marketing as quickly as possible so that it actually gets done on a regular basis. So I want to talk today about how to integrate digital marketing into your marketing plan. And what we really want to do for advisors is to make marketing automatic and really, really easy. And so I'm going to share with you today the easiest 3-step marketing plan there is known to man. It's really, really simple. First, let me give you kind of a bit of a landscape on where your business hopefully was and isn't anymore, and where you're headed. So let's just say, for example, that there are 2 different business models. One is called transactional sales, and under the transactional sales model, most likely you'd only have 1 or 2 products. And this is probably very endemic of how you first started in the business. You went to work for a sales manager. He taught you 1 product really well, maybe a backup, and that's all that you basically had. Then when you started having contacts with prospects, you more or less only had a couple of contacts. You had one contact with them when you're trying to schedule the meeting, then you had scheduled the meeting, and it was more or less what they call a one-call close. So you only had few contacts. The value of the prospect to you was only their business. That's as much value as they had. Once they gave you their business, they really didn't have any more value to you. The closing was always now or never. It was very much, could have been what's called a high pressure or a hard close. It was a now or never close. And it was very, very high pressure all the way around. And that's kind of the transactional sales model. Now, where most advisors have either graduated to or they are trying to get to is this relationship marketing model. And rather than having just one or two products, they are more solution-oriented. So they sit down with a client, they understand the client's needs, and then they develop product and service solutions specifically for that client. The number of contacts can be monthly or more. So rather than pressing for business right now on the spot, the advisor, the solution provider, maintains regular contact, and so when the client is ready, they reach out to the advisor, and the advisor provides the right solution. The value is in the relationship. Rather than just one-time business, it's a relation business enumeration that's based on an ongoing relationship. The closing mentality is, I will eventually earn your business, if not today, in 6 months or 6 years, but eventually you're going to be doing business with me, and the pressure is incredibly low. In my informal surveys of financial service professionals, still about 25 to 35% are operating in the transactional sales model, and the rest are operating in some version of the relationship marketing model. And as far as your stress level and your ability to sleep better at night, which model is better for you, transactional sales or relationship marketing? And the answer, obviously, is the relationship marketing model. It has much more of a recurring business. It's much lower pressure. It feels better to the advisor because you're giving the solution that is best for them. And so that's where we want you to go. And so what I'm going to provide you today is the easiest, simplest three-step relationship marketing strategy. So here we go. Step number one is brand yourself positively with every single person you meet. And the reason that's so incredibly important, and I have learned this lesson many, many times when I was in my 20s, is you never know who you're talking to. The person who may not look that confident, who may not be that well-dressed, might be an awesome client for you. You never know who you're talking to. So whenever you treat everyone the same, everyone incredibly positively, and it really is your job to make sure that every single person you meet knows and remembers the following things. Number one, they've got to know your name, first name and last name. So one of the best habits or best disciplines you can have is whenever you meet somebody, introduce yourself with your first and your last name. I usually give a nice big pause. I'll say, hi, nice to meet you. My name is Peter Montoya, to make sure I enunciate and they really hear it. People who share both their first and last name are deemed to be more confident and a stronger leadership attributes. So sharing your first and last name is a symbol of confidence and also makes it more likely they're going to remember your name. Second, make sure you know your service. Now, I've asked thousands of financial service professionals what it is they do, and the answer I usually get sounds like this. I worry about people's money so they don't have to. I help people sleep better at night. I fund my clients' dreams. And those are all great statements, but they're all in the category of what we'll call a benefit statement versus a service statement. So a service statement explains what you do. So here are some examples of service categories: financial planning, financial advice, retirement planning, insurance planning, business and risk management. Those are service categories. And so you must clearly understand what it is that you do and have that clearly displayed on all of your marketing pieces. Now, should you have that marketing content? Absolutely. And then also you need to, the benefit statement we talked about earlier, I worry about your money so you don't have to. You should absolutely have those. But then you also have got to know your service category so people understand the service that you provide. And that should be printed on probably your signage and your letterhead and your website. And it needs to be something that you say so people understand what it is that you do. And the third thing is you want to make sure that you have what's called a positive disposition to doing business with you. So make sure that you are confident and you are positive and you're showing that you care about the person you're talking to. And so there's a disposition to do business with you. So that's step number one, is brand yourself positively with every single person that you meet. That word brand is kind of elusive to people sometimes. They're not exactly sure what it means. And the best way of describing what a brand is a brand is a name and a service category. A name and a service category. That's more or less what a brand is. It's a very simple way of understanding it. Step number two, connect, which means collect the contact information of every single person you meet and or connect with them on social media. Social media is of increasing importance these days. So now I know how difficult it is to get business cards from people that you meet because so few people carry business cards these days. So that's your first choice. But if they don't have a business card, the next choice is to pull out your phone, find them on Facebook or LinkedIn. Now, in order for you to connect with them on social media, that will require that you have social media accounts. So there are dozens, if not hundreds, of different social media platforms. The ones that I think matter most to you, that I highly recommend, are the following: Facebook and LinkedIn. Those are the ones I highly recommend. Now, the ones that I'm neutral on, and I don't have a preference one way or another, are Twitter, Instagram, and Google+. And I don't recommend for or against either one of those three. If you want to do them, just great. The ones I highly recommend, if you've got a compliance department and if your compliance department allows it, are Facebook and LinkedIn. Why do I recommend those? Because those are the two most heavily used by most financial advisors' clients. So let me answer a couple questions regarding social media now, and I'll talk a little more on social media later. So first of all, the question I oftentimes get is, should I do a business Facebook page or a personal Facebook page? Well, let me ask you a question. If you were invited to like a business page or invited to like a person or friend a person on Facebook, which would you more likely do? And it's a really easy answer, and the answer is connect with a person. Why would you rather connect with a person than a business page? Well, business pages are bland. They are conservative. They don't share anything interesting. When I go onto a person's individual Facebook page, I get a sense of who they are. I see if they, what they look like. I get an idea if they're involved in the community. I get an idea if they have friends or not. If people can actually stand this person. Do they travel and have interests? What are these people about? What is their value? What is their DNA about? And that's what we get from a personal page. So on average, most people have 100 friends for every one business page they follow. So if you're looking to build a following on Facebook, you'd obviously want a personal page versus a business page. Now, I've heard lots of financial advisors say, I don't want to do that. And my response is, okay, then don't do that. If you don't want to do that, that is the recommendation. Let me ask you a question. Would you rather market your services to 200 people or 2,000 people? And your answer is probably, 2,000 people, obviously. Well, great. Then if I were you, I would friend as many people as possible. Some financial advisors have had a fairly conservative outlook on Facebook, and they say something like, I wouldn't friend anybody on Facebook I wouldn't have over for dinner. Okay, that's a very conservative standard, and I don't completely understand why you do that. I think that your paranoia over Facebook is not well suited, but once again, it is your choice. There are plenty of controls on Facebook to make sure that you're not sharing personal information. People cannot post on your page unless you approve it. You can block things that are appropriate, and I don't think that all the concerns that are being waved around are nearly as worrisome as most people make them out to be. So if I was a financial advisor, I'd have a personal page. I would connect with as many people as possible. You can find my personal page on Facebook, and I will connect with you, because I'd much rather be communicating with more people versus fewer people. And next is LinkedIn. Excuse me, and that's a fairly easy one for most financial advisors to understand, to have a LinkedIn page as well. Okay, so connect with them, preferably getting their contact information. So I would make it your complete and total mission to add one family, friend, client, prospect, or referral source every business day. There are about 220 or 30 or so business days per year, and that's what would be my mission if I were you, is to add one contact every single day. So here's how effective this plan is. So the strategy we recommend is that financial advisors, start with their base. So your base is all of your current clients, every prospect you have contact information for, friends, family, and professional referral sources. Hopefully that's at least a couple hundred people. And for many advisors who've been in the business for a while, that's 1,000 people. So that becomes your base contact list. Then I would recommend highly to you that you add one prospect every business day. That adds another 225 or so per year. If you do that and put all of those people on a drip marketing program, which will be email and direct mail, I guarantee you will grow your business by 20% per year. It almost sounds too good to be true, but that's how easy and how effective relationship marketing or nurture marketing is. It's just a matter of maintaining contact. We couldn't give you a much easier marketing system than that. However, most advisors don't focus on it because it doesn't produce immediate results. It's much more like a farmer working a field where it takes 3 to 6 months before results start coming, but then the results start coming, and they just start coming automatically on a regular basis. This is the simplest, easiest marketing system you're ever going to have. Now, also, in addition to that, I highly recommend that you have what's called a client intake form. A client intake form is the form that you have whenever anybody walks into your office for a meeting with you. You have them fill out the information with their name and their address and their contact information. Get their birth date, if at all possible, and whatever other questions you may have regarding painting a financial picture about them. Get that information and then add them to to your contact list. Very, very simple. Step number 3 is nurture. That means put every single prospect, client, professional referral source, and friend on a drip marketing system where you can share educational material which portrays you as a credible, knowledgeable, professional, and trustworthy advisor. And you're going to do this over a long period of time. This is branding 101, which is make the contact, make sure they understand what you do, and then nurture them so when they're ready to do business, they call you. So let me ask you a question here or two. How many touches does the average financial advisor do by email and direct mail every year? And when I've asked audiences that question, the answer comes back usually about 4 touches per year. Now, if you want to maintain the relationship, so with all your clients, you want to make sure they don't go anywhere else. If you want to generate more referrals from your current clients, and you want to generate more sales, how many touches should you have per year? And when I've asked that question, I've heard as low as 12 and as many as 60 or 70. I'm going to give you 3 different choices: a low touch, moderate touch, and high touch. I'll let you decide which ones you want. So a low touch campaign is just 7 touches annually. And that includes quarterly economic updates, which come in every quarter, an annual economic update, a birthday card, and a holiday card. Now, over the last 20 years or so, I started in this business in 1998, I've learned literally thousands of different marketing techniques. By far and away, the most effective marketing technique I have ever learned is the birthday campaign. The birthday campaign is where you call clients on their birthday and or mail them a birthday card for their birthday. I highly recommend you get the birth dates for every single person you possibly can and put them on the birthday campaign. It is the cheapest and most effective marketing campaign you will ever do. So do that one. You will hear things from your clients which break your heart, but also show you the unbelievable power and importance of a marketing campaign. Almost undoubtedly, once you start doing this, in a couple of years in, you're going to have a client say to the following, you're the only one who remembers me. And when you hear that, your heart just breaks, but also you come to understand how important it is to have that personal, very human touch. Next, a medium touch campaign has about 14 touches annually. That includes a monthly economic update, which is by email or direct mail, a birthday card, and a holiday card. It's about 14 touches annually. And then there's the high touch campaign, which has nearly 60 touches per year. Now, I've had a lot of financial advisors say, oh, geez, 60 touches per year, that's way too many for my clients. Your gut instinct is probably about right. So here's what we know is the reason that some advisors do 60 and get great results, and some advisors do 14 and have their clients saying, hey, stop spamming me, all boils down to the level of rapport. So let me give you the scenario. Let's just imagine that you start getting a weekly email from a realtor in town giving you a weekly real estate update every single week. You don't know the realtor, you start getting the update every single week. What is your likelihood to say, take me off the list, mark it as spam, or report it? And the answer is pretty high. Why? Because you don't know that person. On the other hand, if your best friend was a realtor and they started sending you a weekly market update every single week, was the likelihood that you would tell your best friend, stop spamming me or take me off the list? And it's fairly low. Why? Because they're your best friend. So it all boils down to the friendship factor. So if you have not reached out and been keeping contact with your clients, prospects, friends, and family, I would start with a low-touch campaign, nurture them for 6 months or a year, then graduate to a medium-touch campaign, and eventually graduate to a high-touch campaign. But we know that our most effective clients are using the high-touch campaign with 60 touches annually. Now, social media is also incredibly, oops, I have a social media slide here. Social media is also incredibly important as part of this campaign, because if you don't have their email addresses or addresses, then you're going to be going and using, thank you so much, Jack, using social media. So the question I oftentimes get is, how often should we be doing social media? And the answer is at least every business day. A lot of people say, well, that's too much. Well, unfortunately, in this incredibly high information world, in order for us to stand out, in order for us to make sure they're even getting through it all, every business day is about how often you need to do it, if not twice every business day. I don't want to scare you too much to say every business day. So what kind of things should you be posting? I highly recommend a combination of the following. First of all, personal posts. This is stuff about you. So you, your travels, your hobbies, your families, your passions, things that reflect your values as a human being. So that's one thing you can post. Another thing you can post about is friends and family. So things that you do with friends and family, showing that you care about other people. And then finally, number 3, the other thing is educational articles that help inform educate your clients as to how better use your services and how better to manage their finances. We really like content that fits the following acronym, APE, A-P-E. We want all content to be actionable, which means they can read the article, get some information, and take action on it. It is pertinent, which means it's specialized to a target market. And E, it is educational. So try to make sure that your content at least 2 of those following 3 attributes, if not all 3. APE, actionable, pertinent, and educational. So do a combination of personal posts, posts about friends, and then educational posts on social media about every business day. Now, my first choice always with your social media is that you do it yourself. That's my first choice, is that you get into social media and start learning how it works, learning the language, understanding the culture of social media, and start doing it yourself. That's my first choice. My second choice is you have your staff do it. The staff's doing it on your behalf. At least that way you're doing it with an arm's length. And my third choice is that you use a company like us in which we automate your social media for you. We create the posts based on your categories and selections and then post it for you on a regular basis. But having a third party like us do it is better than nothing. So all of your marketing automation, whether it's email, direct mail, and social media. What I'm recommending here is, once again, the easiest marketing plan possible. Connect with every single person you meet, add every single person to your contact list and your social media list, and then start dripping them on a long period of time. So let's just say you took my advice. You gathered all your current people, all your contact lists, which are your clients, prospects, friends and family, professional referral sources. You put them all on the list. You started adding one person a day. You put all those people on the drip marketing plan. About how many months before you probably got your sale? How many months before you get your first sale? And I would say between 2 and 6 months before your first sale. How many months before you started seeing one new client a month or 2 new clients a month from your relationship marketing? And my guess is probably between 6 and 12 months. So between 6 and 12 months of doing this routinely, automatically, we're going to start adding you 2 or 3 clients a month within 6 to 12 months. And this is a building strategy. And like I told you earlier, for our clients who implement the strategy, we will guarantee you'll grow your business by 20% per year doing this ever so simple strategy. So last question is this. So how many years you've been in the business? And obviously I have some people who have just been in the business a couple of years, but a lot of financial service professionals have been in the business 20 years. So if you've been in the business 20 years, how many people would you say you've met per year? When I say people you've met, I mean people. So like, the parents you were sitting next to in PTA meetings, when you coached your son's soccer games and you met all the parents there. You've had prospects into your office. You went to a networking event and met a CPA. How many people have you met per year? Let's just say, for example, let's say one every business day. That's 225 per year. Over 20 years, that's something like 5,000 people. If you have consistently been nurture marketing to 5,000 people for the last 20 years, would your business be significantly different than it is right now in a positive way? And the answer is, of course it would. So you can't go back in time, but it's never too late to get started on this ever so simple and incredibly powerful marketing strategy. And if ever you are mentoring somebody new in the business, please get them started on this on day number 1. It should be one of the most important things and first thing they do is get started on their drip marketing system. It's incredibly powerful, incredibly effective, and incredibly easy. Great. Thank you so much. Please take my advice. And Jack, thank you so much for hosting me here today. It was great being here.
Thank you, Peter. For those of you who would like to get a hold of Peter and his team, here's his contact information. He's making a great offer today. All the attendees on this webinar will have their initiation fees waived through the remainder of this month. So if you're on this webinar, let Peter know you're connected with InsureMark, and you also were on the webinar, and your initiation fees will be waived. Peter didn't have the time, but I just wanted to show you some of the pieces that are available through Peter's marketing automation platform. When he talked about the weekly economic update, when he talked about the newsletter programs that he has that can go out to clients, as you can see, they're very well done and will definitely be impactful in your business. And the social media thing he talked about, the platform makes that extremely easy. So I really encourage you to take a look at the marketing platform as a way to integrate that. You can manage your social media from within it. You can link your accounts into it and push content to it very easily. You can schedule or fully automate your social media campaigns. So that daily activity that Peter was talking about is something that you can turn over to the Marketing Pro platform. Great pricing on it, really a very competitively priced program. But here's what's important. If you're associated with InsureMark, you qualify for a program we call BizBucks. And so essentially that's going to allow you to reduce the cost, in some cases to zero, on the Marketing Pro platform. So when we're done today, we'll give you the contact information to get a hold of InsureMark and your advisor development consultant to make sure that you're taking advantage of that program. So I want to wrap up real quickly with a quick explanation about why those of you who are on this call really need us at InsureMark. We are constantly talking to advisors, gathering intelligence, and learning from you, and we call that our Business Alpha Data Series. And so we publish the results of those from time to time. In our latest survey, we dove into what you thought about your business as a legacy asset. And so we asked you, is your business part of your retirement plan? Are you counting on it to take care of you and your family when you finally leave this business? An overwhelming 83% of you said yes, my business is an important part of my retirement plan. We also know that most of you are sole practitioners, and so if you're going to leave the business, if it's going to have value, then one of the things that you need to think about is, have I done any succession planning? Have I figured out how I'm going to pass this asset on? And unfortunately, about 2/3 of us said no, we had not yet taken that step. And so that can potentially be a source of a fair amount of stress. And then it's really at this point that you can turn to us at InsureMark and our advisor development consultants, and we can start to work with you on ways to add value to your business, on ways to deal with that succession so that you'll have a nice retirement plan in place. And really, it's no fault of your own, that you might be in this situation. As a follow-up question, we asked advisors, are you an advisor who owns a business, or are you a business owner who is an advisor? And 3/4 of you said that I'm an advisor who happens to own a business. And so you do a very good job of that, and that's why you need an advisor development consultant at InsureMark. That's how you're going to get the biggest value out of this life's work that you're pouring yourself into. So we call that driving business alpha, this whole notion of increasing the value of your business and helping you maintain a balance between life and work. We call that driving business alpha. And it really is so important. If you're going to get all of the value out of your business in terms of more client time, more family time, more value, it's important that you really optimize that alpha component. The way we do that, and whether you're a millennial, a Gen X, or whether you're in startup or you're a baby boomer who's built a successful firm, value engineering is what we do to your business. And really, an advisor who goes through our value engineering process will learn exactly how to optimize that value. And we call that value engineering. And so, just like your financial planning starts with discovery, so does our value engineering process. We're going to take a deep dive into your personal goals and objectives, your business's goals and objectives. We're going to look at the business and practice metrics. And as you can see, there are a number of data points that we're going to collect so that we get our arms around what's going on in your business. Then we're going to start to bring to the forefront resources that will help you address the weak parts of your business, help you build the strong parts even stronger. And so we're going to look at a number of different facets of your business and bring a number of different resources to bear, whether you need help in lead generation, or if we figure out you need some more help in practice betterment and management, whether it's helping your client experience improve, excuse me, whether it's in your communication programs, or finally, whether it's in developing your brand and marketing, we've got the resources, and our advisor development consultants are going to give you a myriad of points of view, not just one, but they're going to give you the results of the experience that we've had across a number of successful advisors to help you get to your practice blueprint. And so this is your action plan. This is your step-by-step. This puts time frames on this improvement process that we're going to engage you in. And what we know is that advisors who are engaged with us, who are optimizing the value of their business, who are using our value engineering, who have built their blueprint, actually earn more revenue relative to their peers. In fact, our top advisor from last year put it this way. He said, blueprinting is simply great business planning. Many advisors have a great sales gig but need to run it more like a business. They need to think about creating the value in their business and then realizing that value, and really that's where we at InsureMark shine. So I want to thank you all for joining us today. You've been an attentive audience. Thank you very much, Peter, for sharing your years of wisdom in brand and marketing automation. We appreciate all of you joining us. Stay tuned. We'll keep you posted on the next Business Alpha webinar. Follow us on LinkedIn to stay updated on future events. And please take the few seconds to complete the survey when you exit this. If we can be of assistance to you, give us a call at 800-752-0207. This is Jack Martin with InsureMark saying thank you all very much and have a great day.